Hey everybody, it is Catherine and welcome to my channel where we talk all things fragrance and beauty. I don't know that I have talked about many Xerjoff fragrances on my channel, but I have experienced many of them, and it occurred to me that I don't think I've ever reviewed my favorite Xerjoff fragrance. So today that is what we're doing. If you are interested in hearing about my favorite Xerjoff fragrance, please stick around. Recently, I found that Xerjoff offered discovery sets, and lucky for me, they had one that included two of my favorite Xerjoff fragrances, so of course I had to purchase it. And in it was my favorite Xerjoff fragrance, which we're talking about today, and that is Uden Overdose. The trio, you open up the discovery set. I already pulled out the Uden Overdose, but inside you get a decent amount of the three fragrances. And in this particular set, I got Cruz del Sur 2 and Herba Pura. Herba Pura is the other one that I really like, which I think is similar to Cassiopeia, but we'll talk about that on a different day. Put that away and back to Uden Overdose. I love these caps too. They remind me of like an old Roman priest might wear. This scent is so light and refreshing. I think it is absolutely excellent for this time of year, spring to summer, where the warm temperature is just going to make it explode off of your skin. If you apply it to areas where you are more prone to sweating, such as the back of your knees, lower back, the chest area, it will just make it even more pronounced. Many times Xerjoff fragrances had kind of a similar note to them, and it's not that I disliked it, I just wasn't completely in love with it either. I don't know if it's a must. Just this note that seemed to be in all of the fragrances that I tried by Xerjoff, and this one, Uden Overdose, did not contain that, and I just fell completely in love with it. First, I experienced Uden, which I love just as much, but for whatever reason, Uden Overdose just shot it out of the park for me. So I'll put that little baby right there and into the actual review of the fragrance. Uden Overdose is actually a little bit more, a little older of a fragrance. It was created in 2018. The nose behind the fragrance was Chris Maurice. Uden Overdose is considered a woody, spicy fragrance, which is funny because I'd consider it much more of a citrus spicy fragrance. But that being said, the top notes of the fragrance include lemon and bergamot, middle notes ginger and tobacco blossom, bottom notes, base notes, amber, and musk. So very simple in nature. Of course, it probably contains many more that just aren't mentioned. These are just the ones that are more standout. Let's look at the Xerjoff website and see if there is anything on the inspiration for the fragrance. I did choose my country. Apparently you have to choose your country for the site. And I keep saying USA. Let's try United Kingdom. That's fine. Whatever. Uden Overdose is part of the Shooting Stars collection of Xerjoff fragrances. So to learn a little bit more of the Shooting Stars collection, this is really interesting in my opinion, but to quote the Xerjoff website, "We are closer to the stars than we think. In 1947, one of the greatest meteorite showers in the history of the Earth scattered over eastern Siberia beyond the foothills of the Sikhote-Alin Mountains." I probably said that wrong. An awe-inspiring experience that became the inspiration for the Shooting Stars collection. Each perfume from this collection has been named after the fallen stars that left their mark on our atmosphere, uniquely chosen to reflect the special nature of this event. Every perfume is crowned with a gold-plated stopper and presented in a luxurious case. Oh, cool. Presented in a luxurious case which contains a certified fragment of the meteorite from the fall. With the Shooting Stars collection, you can truly treat someone to a piece of the sky. How cool is that? You get a piece of the meteorite. Wow, I didn't know that. That's really neat. So apparently 10 years after the introduction of Uden, which was the most popular fragrance within the Shooting Stars collection, Xerjoff came out with a follow-up, Uden Overdose, presenting a more powerful version with kind of souped up, richer notes. And to quote again, upon the waves of the ocean with Uden Overdose, an enchanting fougere fragrance like no other. Exuding power and strength with every note of Xerjoff's Uden Overdose, this perfume is inspired by the tempestuous sea, with enticing top notes of lemon and bergamot. A dark heart of ginger, tobacco flowers, and coffee leads to a rich base of amber and musk. Uden Overdose is enthroned in a luxurious case, blah, 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 with the meteorite. So also interesting and not surprising, the notes on the Xerjoff website are different than those on Frangradika slightly. So according to the Xerjoff website, the top notes are lemon and bergamot, the heart of the fragrance, tobacco flowers, ginger, and coffee, and the base note, amber and musk. So again, everything but that Frangradika said, but with that addition of the coffee. Since this is more of a citrus fragrance, the longevity of the fragrance is not going to be as long as some of the other Xerjoffs. However, I think it is it is still considerably long lasting. I can experience it for probably 6 hours at least. In terms of sillage, it's a definite moderate sillage fragrance. According to Frangradika, the votes for which way it leans, since it is a unisex fragrance, they're saying it leans more heavy masculine. I think it definitely is a unisex fragrance. It could go either way. Personally, I love it. I wear it. I might say it leans a little bit on the feminine side because to me it smells, initially when you first spray the fragrance, you do get a heavy burst of the citrus. You do get the lemon, you do get the bergamot, but I think very quickly the ginger is also introduced, so then it becomes more of a spicy citrus fragrance. Coffee and the tobacco blossom may kind of round it out some because it's not sharp ginger. It doesn't have that kind of bite your nose effect that ginger sometimes has, and once the citrus kind of dissipates a bit, the amber and the musk begin to become much more prominent. First spicy with the ginger, and then eventually very mellow, almost vanilla to me. I think what you're left with is much more of a stronger amber vanilla type scent. It still is somewhat sweet to me. It's still a very mellow fragrance. If I was going to equate it to anything, I would say that it probably most closely resembles like a lemon pound cake. It has that citrus to it, but it also has the creaminess, the mellowing of the vanilla cake type aspect, for lack of a better comparison. Again, as I said, I think this is a perfect fragrance for summer. I can definitely see this as a date night fragrance. I think the heat, you know, once it dries down and you have that amber, the musk, it becomes much more of a sensual, sexy type fragrance. So if you spray it right before you go out, your date will experience a shift of fragrances bursting off of your skin. All in all, I truly appreciate this fragrance. Uden Overdose, like I said, it's my favorite Xerjoff fragrance. I like it because it does start out with that citrus, those light, fresh, and airy scents, but then as it dries down, the majority of the time you're experiencing the fragrance, you're enjoying those amber and musks. So it's much more of a warm and sensual type fragrance. And I appreciate how the fragrance evolves as you wear it. It's not a one-trick pony where you spray it and then that's the scent that you experience the duration of the longevity of the fragrance, but it evolves, and I appreciate that. Little amount of time later, someone stopped by, so had to come back to this later. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. It helps promote my video to a larger audience, which I would greatly appreciate. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested in content such as this. And before I go, I'll leave you with these words from Loretta Young. Love isn't something you find. Love is something that finds you. Appreciate you all. Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.